little story about how we got here. When I was about 10 or 11 years old, growing up in Philadelphia in the early 1960s, I started imagining and dreaming what my life was going to be like as an adult. I knew I wanted to be a success. Now mind you, as an assimilated Jew, success meant a lot of secular education and money. Obviously, a happy and stable marriage and family were also important factors. But to me, these factors were what would be a fulfillment in life. I didn't know what I was going to do in the future, but I was pretty sure of one thing, or so I thought, that Judaism was not going to be part of it. At the time, I was going to after-school Hebrew school. I hated it. I cut whenever I could. I barely graduated, whatever that meant, and I had a bar mitzvah, and after that I figured my career, my Jewish career, would be over, happily. Fast forward 35 years. I did indeed achieve that success that I had been dreaming about. Now, frequently you hear people tell stories that they became a success and they were not happy. Well, that was not the case with me. I was very happy. I had a loving wife and children. I was in a prestigious medical practice, and I was making lots of money. Life was good. Life was good. Although I had no interest living as a practicing Jew, my wife Marlene, who had somewhat of a more traditional background, always insisted that the children have some Yiddishkeit in their lives. Everything was fine until one day when everything changed. My 16-year-old daughter, who's here today, a little bit older, decided to look for God and found him. On Friday afternoons, she would go around the house, taping light switches, my light switches, unscrewing the light bulb in my refrigerator, getting ready for Shabbos. I was incensed by this, because as a resident training at Mount Sinai in New York, I had a first-hand look at the ultra-Orthodox Hasidim. To me, they were rude, dirty, and seemingly uneducated. Any medical matter had to be run by the Rebbe, which made no sense to me. To me, I looked at these people as a cult, these Orthodox Jews as a cult, and I was not going to have my daughter be any part of a cult. So wisely, my daughter said, "Daddy, you know nothing about your religion. How can you criticize it?" So she gave me some books to read. I had a simple plan. I was going to read the books, and I was going to find all the inconsistencies and flaws. I was going to show them to her, and hopefully bring her back to her senses. I thought, how hard could it be to disprove this religion? Boy, was I in for a surprise. After a long and careful analysis, mind you, I was trying to dissuade her, I came to the conclusion that the Torah could not possibly have been written by man. Eventually, the path became crystal clear to me. Fortunately, I had a wife who was not only willing, but actually anxious to start on this new journey. And within 2 or 3 years, we were all Sherman Shabbos. The last 15 years or so have been quite a trip. My life before Torah was great, but now it's at a whole different level. Hashem has granted me a special gift. I was able to retire from my medical practice over 5 years ago, and I'm now able to devote time every day to learning God's words. And when my wife got sick several years ago, being able to turn to our Father in heaven for comfort was incredibly beyond description. Unfortunately, most people get caught up in the drudgery of life, and they don't realize the gift and the meaning of why they are here. Those of us who observe God's Torah understand better than most that getting close to our Creator by performing mitzvahs, engaging in prayer, and studying His words is the essence and the purpose in this world. There's nothing else. That young boy growing up in Philadelphia in the early 1960s could never have imagined in his wildest dreams standing here today, nor could he have imagined the true joy and fulfillment of living a Torah observant life.